Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu has now hit out at Jaganmohan Reddy, and he's saying that it was under the government, when the Jaganmohan Reddy government was in power, that raw materials were being used, unholy raw materials were being used to make the prasadam at the Tirupati temple. Naidu said that I urge to everyone from the state. N.T. Ramarao introduced the offerings at the food in Tirumala in today's event. When the food is being served, it is of inferior quality. There are several complaints which were sent to the government, but the government did not take notice of this. At least a new proper system will now be established, and it will be according to the holy rituals. People will not feel the setback with regards to the contributions. There are many contributions which are made to the temple, and now we will streamline this entire process.
రాష్ట్రంలో ఉండే అందరికి విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నాం. ఎన్టీ రామారావు గారు అన్నదానం ప్రవేశపెట్టారు తిరుమల పైన. దాన్ని కూడా నాసిరకం భోజనం పెట్టే పరిస్థితికి వచ్చారు ఇటీవల కాలంలో. దానిపై కూడా అనేక కంప్లైంట్లు, కడాన ప్రసాదంపై కూడా కంప్లైంట్లు వచ్చే పరిస్థితికి వచ్చింది. ఇవన్నీ కూడా నాణ్యమైనటువంటి అక్కడ ఏవైతే మన దానికి కావాల్సినటువంటి ముడి సరుకులన్నీ కూడా నాసిరకం వాడడం, అది కాకుండా పవిత్రమైన దేవాలయాల్లో కూడా అపవిత్రమైన ముడి సరుకులు వాడడం, ఇలాంటివన్నీ చేసి కంపు చేశారు. ఇప్పుడిప్పుడే అక్కడ కూడా స్ట్రీమ్ లైన్ చేశాం. ఒక దూరదృష్టి మీరు ఆలోచిస్తే ఎన్టీ రామారావు గారు ఆ రోజు ప్రారంభించిన అన్నదానం ఈరోజు కార్పసే మొత్తాన్ని జరిపే పరిస్థితి వస్తుంది. డే బై డే ప్రజలు ఇంకా కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఒక మంచి వ్యవస్థను ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసి ఒక పవిత్రమైన కార్యక్రమంగా దాన్ని తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ప్రజలు స్పాన్సర్ చేయడానికి ఏమాత్రం వెనుకాడనే దానికి అన్నదానం టీటీలో ఒక ఉదాహరణ అని చెప్పి నేను మీకు తెలియజేసుకుంటున్నాను.
My colleague Apurva is now joining me on the story. Apurva, we are seeing that it is the Chief Minister who is now coming out and also saying that he'll make sure that there is a streamlined process, and whatever has happened, the use of unholy materials to make this very auspicious laddu, all those things will now be put, a stop will be put on all those things. Big claim coming in from the Chief Minister. Apurva?
Yes.
Apurva, we are seeing a big statement coming in from the Chief Minister. He's saying that he'll now put new systems in place.
Well, that's right. Remember, Mr. Naidu, just after he had been sworn in as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he had in fact made his first visit to Tirumala, and he had in fact said right then that there will be a complete revamp and cleansing starting right from Tirumala and Tirupati. And this is what we are also seeing. In fact, just a couple of weeks into the new government being formed, we also saw that there was a complete and entire revamp of the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam's board members as well. Several of them had been transferred and changed. This also was one of the crucial steps that Mr. Naidu had done. Remember, the TDP-led NDA government here, what they have been emphasizing on is that they want clean governance and effective government. That's what was the motto that has been described by Mr. Naidu, who is the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, and that is what we're also seeing out here. These test reports just some weeks after, the NDA government formed governments here in Andhra Pradesh, and we're also seeing not only here in Tirumala and in Tirupati, but also across various other, boards as well. We are seeing a complete revamp that is happening. IPS, IAS officers that are being shuffled.
Right.
All of that is also being conducted simultaneously as well. In fact, what we are getting to know is that the Andhra Pradesh government is going to be very strict and stern against these offenders as well. In fact, speaking to us yesterday, Nara Lokesh there, he also went on and stated that there is going to be stringent action against the vendors of these buyers. There's going to be action against those people and the members who have chosen these kind of vendors, and that there's not going to be any person behind this who will be spared. So that is what we are also seeing.
Right, Apurva, my colleague there giving us all the details with regards to the latest statement that the Chief Minister has made. Chandrababu Naidu has now cracked the whip and he's saying everyone who's found guilty will not be spared. Now, this is a big controversy which has come to the fore. In fact, the more shocking aspect of the story is the lab report, which clearly points towards the fact that beef tallow, fish oil and lard, these were the items that were being used to make the prasad, which is given to lakhs of devotees at the Tirupati temple. Now, the Tirumala temple controversy is getting bigger by the minute. It all started when an explosive statement was being made by the Chief Minister of the state, Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu said that from what he is hearing, he believes that the prasad which is being made, that prasad uses low quality substance. Instead of ghee, fish oil, beef tallow and lard was actually being used. And what's most shocking in this story is the lab report. You can clearly see on your screens fish oil, beef tallow and lard. Things which are unbelievable were actually taking place at the Tirupati temple. And now the Chief Minister said that even though Jaganmohan Reddy was told about it, who was the earlier Chief Minister of the state of Andhra Pradesh, he did not take action. Now, we are seeing that the lab report has been made public by the TDP, and the Chief Minister has said that people who were involved in this will not be spared.
Unfortunate incident. Definitely, as a state, we owe an apology to all the people, to everyone in India, not to all the Hindus, because Lord Balaji is revered across, not only across the states, but across the globe. It's very unfortunate that such an incident has happened, and under the leadership of Mr. Naidu ji and India government, we will ensure the best quality, zero adulteration will be maintained, and we will ensure that the sentiments of Hindus is protected.
This is an affront to the Hindu religion. This is an affront to not one Hindu, to Hindus who live globally, all over the world. A tradition which has been going on for centuries has been broken. And the prasadam, which is given to the Lord in 3 times a day, morning, afternoon and night, has been mixed with this ghee.
देखिए कितना अनर्थ हमारे धर्म के साथ खेला गया, हमारे भगवान प्राचीन मंदिर को अपवित्र करने का षड्यंत्र किया गया। लड्डू यानी बालाजी भगवान, तिरुपति भगवान का लड्डू, बहुत ही लोग बड़ी ही शुद्धता से लोग प्रसाद ग्रहण करते हैं। टीडीपी की सरकार, चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी मुख्यमंत्री बनने के बाद में जो जगनमोहन एक पापी मुख्यमंत्री था, आज तो खत्म हो गया, वो एक पापी मुख्यमंत्री ने हमारे मंदिर को अपवित्र करने का षड्यंत्र किया गया।
We are strongly condemning such a kind of irresponsible, arrogant governance against to the Hindu religion which happened during the YS Jaganmohan Reddy governance. Apart from this, he always gave priority to divert the funds of Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. Jaganmohan Reddy and his family members are not at all give a proper respect for the Hindu rituals and religions, traditions and customs.
It's a very bad thing happened in Tirumala history. We are very sadly condemning the issue that Jaganmohan Reddy government wantedly damaging the sentiment of Hindu pilgrims, especially Balaji devotees, and we are filing a complaint against the Jaganmohan Reddy and that TTD chairman Bhumana Karnaka Reddy and Subba Reddy.
बालाजी के प्रति पूरे देश नहीं पूरे विश्व की आस्था वहाँ टिकी हुई है। एक परम पवित्र स्थान है, वहाँ पे लोग प्रसाद लेने जाते हैं सनातनी और ये समझते हैं कि यहाँ से हमें शुद्ध मिलता है। लेकिन आप देखिए जैसे थूक जिहादी हैं, जैसे मूत्र जिहादी हैं, कोई चीज़ में थूक के देते हैं, मूत्र करके देते हैं, उसी प्रकार से कहीं ना कहीं जगनमोहन रेड्डी ने एक थूक जिहादियों की तरह चर्बी जिहाद करके और हिंदुओं को धर्म भ्रष्ट करने का प्रयास किया है।
News that's coming in. It's Pawan Kalyan who's now saying that there should be a national debate on how temples need to be managed across the country. A debate has to happen at a national level by all the policymakers, religious heads, judiciary, citizens, even media should be a part of it, and they should come in from their own point. They should bring in their own point of view. This is Pawan Kalyan who's now calling for a national debate on how temples across the country should be managed. Pawan Kalyan is now batting for a Sanatan Raksha board. So this is a big controversy which started from Andhra Pradesh, but now we are seeing the ripple effect being felt across the country. People are now questioning how can something as pious as the laddus which are given in Tirupati, because Tirupati is a place which is visited by millions every year, and twice in a day this prasad is given to the devotees who come here. The report is very, very shocking. Clearly points towards the fact not just lard but even beef tallow and fish oil was being used instead of ghee to make this prasadam. My colleague Abdul Bashir is now joining me on the story. Abdul, this is very, very shocking. Something like this to come to the fore, and now we are seeing Pawan Kalyan batting for a Sanatan Raksha board. He's asking people across the country to indulge in a national debate.
Well, absolutely. After a massive outrage following the statement by Chandrababu Naidu, where it has found out, it has been found that animal fat is being used in the prasadam laddu. Now, Pawan Kalyan, the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, has lashed out to this and has also asked for a Sanatani board. We've seen Pawan Kalyan is always vocal about the present government and many of the issues involving irregularities in these particular temples. But here he stated that he's very deeply disturbed with the findings of this animal fat and in the prasad, and many questions are to be answered by the TDP board, which was constituted by the YSRCP during their release. Now the TDP government will take action, is what Pawan Kalyan had to say, and also had asked that, he's put up a point that Sanatan Dharma Rakshana board at a national level must be constituted to deal with all issues related to temples.
Abdul, please stay on with me. TDP leader Pattibi Komar Reddy is now joining me on the story. Mr. Komar Reddy, very, very clearly this has become a topic of national debate, but what's even more shocking was that complaints were being sent to the YSRCP government, but instead of receiving the complaints, they did not act on it.
Yeah, absolutely, Aishwarya. The pilgrims themselves have been agitating, demanding, the quality of the laddus to be improved. They have agitated in the Annadanam dining hall with the quality of food that is being served. So in spite of the pilgrims agitating during the Jagan Reddy's government, they have initiated no action. Jagan Reddy's own uncles, Subba Reddy and Karnaka Reddy, were the chairmen. So all the while they were only interested in looting money from TTD, but they never took any care about the quality. And yesterday's revelation about the presence of animal fat in the Laddu Prasadam had shocked the entire world. All crores of Hindus across the globe are in a kind of disbelief. So right now, the current NDA government under Chandrababu Naidu ji is taking all corrective measures. We have initiated strong action against the people who are behind this, the former TTD chairman Subba Reddy or the supplier who had supplied this ghee. Now again we have resumed, I am also saying that we have resumed Nandini, the supplier who was supplying quality ghee before, whose order was unilaterally cancelled by the previous Jagan Reddy's government. So Nandini ghee again supplying quality cow ghee to TTD, and now the quality is restored. I would like to promise all the crores of pilgrims across the globe that now things are under control. The quality of prasadam is back to its normal stage, and there will be very swift action very soon.
Reddy, you are saying there will be action which will be taken, because this actually is simply unbelievable. No one can actually believe, because with regards to the temple, it's very pious. Millions of people come to the temple every year, and the kind of donation that the temple gets, the trust is the world's, richest Hindu temple trust. So all those things at the moment unbelievable. What action can we expect from the TDP government next?
Yeah, as I've told, the vigilance department is on it. They've already served notices. People will be put behind bars very soon. There will not be any kind of delay in the kind of action that we're going to take. Today, the Honorable Endowment Minister will be in Tirumala. Senior higher officials from the TTD also will be reacting on it. The Honorable Chief Minister is closely monitoring this issue. So you can expect stern action, the strictest action possible very soon. We will not spare anyone who is behind this, because this is a heinous crime. I mean, playing with the sentiments of Hindus. How can they stoop down to such a level? I mean, we have seen many kinds of corruption before, but this is heinous. I mean, you cannot stoop down to such a low level. I mean, buying ghee, cow ghee at 320 rupees. Can you imagine this, Aishwarya? Where can you ever get a kilo of cow ghee at 320 rupees? So they have identified a person who is willing to supply 320 kg and give their commissions what they demand. And now what he had done? He had supplied ghee which had, animal fat, lard. I mean, reading that report itself, see, I am also right now speaking as a Hindu, not as a national spokesperson of TDP. I stand before Lord Venkateshwara every morning. Today, I literally beg for forgiveness. Today, every Hindu is begging for forgiveness to Lord Balaji, just because for what Jagan Reddy has done. And this is not the only incident, Aishwarya. You've seen how Jagan Reddy's government, continuously, many temples were attacked. You look at how Lord Sri Ram's idol was destroyed in Ramatirtham. Chariots were burnt, but no action. So from the moment he took over as Chief Minister, there has been concentrated attacks on Hindu religion, on temples. And ultimately it landed at adulteration of the prasad with animal fat. So Jagan Reddy has to open his mouth. Why is he silent? Why is he not speaking on this? Is he not responsible as the Chief Minister then? Why is he keeping mum? So we demand a reply from Jagan Reddy himself, not Y.V. Subbareddy. What kind of challenges is he throwing? I'll let him face the inquiry. First, Y.V. Subbareddy should respond why he had cancelled the contract of Nandini. What made Y.V. Subbareddy to cancel the contract of Nandini? This is a straight question we are putting. For what kind of amount he had cancelled the contract from Nandini? Who is this airport from Tamil Nadu? So there are so many unanswered questions. And this report is given by NDTV, not by any accredited agency, National Dairy Development Board, one of the premier, the topmost labs in the country.
Mr. Komareddy, at the moment, are you saying that A, the supplier is back, and B, will you make sure that these things do not happen in future?
Absolutely. We want to restore the faith of crores of Hindus across the globe. That is the reason why I've said things are now restored. Nandini is back again, supplying pure cow ghee to TTD, not only in respect of ghee, in all the raw materials that are used for making prasad. The TTD board, the Honorable Endowment Minister and the Chief Minister himself is monitoring so that no kind of adulteration can be done in any of the raw materials. So things are back in place, things are in order, but whoever is behind this heinous crime under Jagan Reddy's government will also be booked and stern action. There will not be any delay. There will not be any delay. Within the next couple of days, you will see people behind bars.
Mr. Komareddy, a big statement coming from you. You are saying people will be put behind bars, very stern action will be taken, and a relief of sorts also for the crores of Hindus, people who have faith, because you are saying that the TDP government very clearly has brought back Nandini, the people who were earlier supplying ghee for the making of the prasadam. That was TDP leader P. Komareddy very clearly saying that the supplier who was earlier supplying ghee, he's back, and also saying that stern action will be taken. Abdul Bashir, my colleague, is also with me on the story. Abdul, we are seeing 2-3 things. Very clear messaging coming from the TDP. They are saying, A, Nandini, the supplier who was earlier sending out ghee, he's back, and also saying that very soon we will see people behind bars.
Well, absolutely. From the time the Telugu Desam party has come to power in the state of Telangana, Chandrababu Naidu, its chief, and the present chief minister had been clear on the irregularities that have taken place in several of the holy temples, and especially in the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. The first time he spoke to the media, it was about the irregularities at the temple, and he also promised that cleansing of these temples will be done. And today we see that stern action. First, the vigilance department had inspected these vendors, the key vendors, and then all these irregularities have come out, especially with the test report which states that suspected animal fat had been used in the prasadam, which was done with the report that was released on July 23rd. So now, a day before yesterday, Chandrababu Naidu had cleared the stand that animal fat was used in the prasadam, and the Vigilance Department, in its preliminary report, had mentioned that animal fat is used in the ghee that was used in prasadam. So now, Vigilance is investigating this particular claim, and also action will be taken, is what the TDP has to say. Now, your TDP has also said that the people who are involved behind this particular unholy act will be put behind bars, is what they are saying. Now, the TDP government going all guns blazing against these irregularities during the YSRCP regime. However, YSRCP chief Jaganmohan Reddy, who was the then chief minister, has not responded to this particular allegation yet. But the former chairman, Y.V. Subba Reddy of the TTD, had stated that he demanded that the central government investigate into this matter, and there is no such act that is done. All the allegations are baseless. He's ready to take. He's ready to take a promise in front of Lord Balaji. Also, he is going to take action against the AP government. The
Breaking
TDP
it down for
government
us and also telling us what the TDP government is saying and how Jaganmohan Reddy is now reacting to this controversy. In fact, centuries-old tradition has been broken. Hindus across the world cannot believe the report that has now come to the fore. Beef tallow was being used in the iconic Tirupati Bala temple, pig lard and even fish oil. Now, this is something which has come to the fore. It all started when a horrifying claim was made by N. Chandrababu Naidu, who's the Chief Minister of the state of Andhra Pradesh, and then later his party, that is the Telugu Desam Party, released a report. Now, this is a report which is made by the Centre for Analysis and Learning in Livestock and Food, which is a part of the National Dairy Development Board in Gujarat. The report very clearly speaks about the fact that there was indeed adulteration that took place. Now, YSRCP is denying that the ghee that was used to make the famous laddus was actually substandard. My colleague Apurva Jayachandra is getting you all the details.
These laddus are big business in Tirupati. Nothing less than the holy grail for devotees visiting the Tirumala temple in Andhra Pradesh. More than 15 crore laddus are prepared in these halls every year. 2 of these laddus are given to each devotee as the prasadam of the Tirumala Venkateswara temple. However, the taste of these iconic laddus has been soured a little in the past 24 hours. Andhra Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu shocked his audience in a legislature party meeting of the ruling NDA in Amravati, alleging that animal fat had been used instead of ghee under the previous state government. The charges were backed by a former Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam's board member.
దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని, ఏది గీకు బదులు. ఈరోజు స్వచ్ఛమైన గీ తెమన్నాం, ప్రక్షాళన చేయమన్నాం. నాణ్యత పెరిగింది, ఇంకా కూడా నాణ్యత పెంచుతాం.
సరే, మీరు చెప్పిన కండిషన్స్ ప్రకారం ఇన్ని లక్షల ఆవు పాలు ఉత్పత్తి చేయగలిగే సామర్థ్యం కావాలి. ఆవు పాలు ఉత్పత్తి చేయగలిగి మనం వెన్నకు కన్వర్ట్ చేసే సామర్థ్యం ఉండాలి. దాన్ని మనం నెయ్యిగా ఇన్ని డిగ్రీస్ టెంపరేచర్ చేయగలిగే సామర్థ్యం ఉండాలని చెప్పి మీరు కండిషన్ పెట్టినా అవన్నీ పక్కన పెట్టేసి కేడర్స్ దగ్గర తక్కువ రేటుకు వచ్చాడు.
The opposition was quick to deny the charges and responded with its own counter-attack. YSRCP, which was in power in Andhra till June this year, called the charges malicious and said that Naidu had severely damaged the sanctity of the temple and the faith of devotees. Former officials of the temple board also slammed the chief minister.
అత్యంత దారుణాతి దారుణమైనటువంటి ఆరోపణ ఆయన చేయటం జరిగింది. దిట్టం రూపంలో స్వామివారి అపరభక్తులైనటువంటి తన రాజకీయ స్వప్రయోజనాల కోసమని జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారి మీద బురద చల్లాలన్నటువంటి ఉద్దేశంతో చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారు ఈ రకమైనటువంటి ఆరోపణ చేయటం అంటే తన నైతికతను మరింత దిగజార్చుకోవటం తప్ప మరొకటి కాదు.
Meanwhile, in a shocking revelation, a report from the Centre of Analysis and Learning in Livestock and Food reveals traces of animal fat, including beef tallow and fish oil in the prasadam, sparking massive outrage.
లార్డ్ అంటే యానిమల్ ఫ్యాట్, జంతువుల మాంసం. అవి ఏ జంతువులో మనకు తెలీదు. కుక్కలు కావచ్చు, నక్కలు కావచ్చు, పిల్లులు కావచ్చు, కుళ్ళిపోయిన కుక్క పిల్లలు కావచ్చు. మనం చూస్తుంటాం కుక్కల మాంసం వస్తుంటది చెన్నై నుంచి. మా నెల్లూరుకి ఎన్నిసార్లు పట్టుకున్నారో తెలుసా మీకు? ఏమా నెల్లూరులో పట్టుకున్నారు లేదా? 1000 టన్నులు పట్టుకున్నారు, 100 టన్నులు. ఆ నూనె కూడా వాడారని భయముగా ఉన్నది.
The Tirumala temple receives the highest donation among all temples in India. Its budget for 2022-23 showed cash offerings of more than 1,000 crore rupees. Its interest revenue from deposits in banks is nearly 670 crore rupees. Prasad sales account for 365 crores, though reports say that temple trust incurs a loss of 200 crore every year under this head. Revenue from tickets is around 362 crore rupees. The temple earns around 250 crore through other sources. For all involved, any controversy surrounding the humble laddu could mean a huge monetary setback. A 175-gram laddu is sold for 100 rupees by the temple. With nearly 2.5 crore annual visitors, this translates into big numbers. Even the procurement of 5,000 tons of ghee for these laddus by the trust is a politically sensitive issue. For long, Karnataka Milk Federation has been the primary supplier. But last year, Amul emerged as the lowest bidder for the 250 crore rupee contract, setting off political fireworks in Andhra and across the border in Karnataka. With Apurva Jayachandran in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
My colleague Abdul Bashir is now joining me. Abdul, what's really shocking is the fact that this is the trust which is the world's richest Hindu temple trust. And for something like this to happen here, it has left everyone in complete shock. And that's the reason why we are seeing what has happened in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The ripples of that can actually be felt in other states of the country also.
Yes, absolutely, Aishwarya. What we are seeing is that this is something unexpected. This is something that nobody, mainly the devotees, would have been expecting regarding this. The trust that they had in the committee of the TTD or the here. What we see is that the YSRCP regime during YSRCP chairman YV Subbareddy, these irregularities have taken place is what the TDP has to say. The TDP here is alleging that animal fat being used in the ghee that is prepared laddu, the sacred prasadam that is being offered worldwide, famous prasadam, is something very shocking. And Chandrababu Naidu clearly stating that animal fat was used in the prasadam. However, now the company that was said to be supplying this kind of ghee has been blacklisted, and the cleansing of this particular issue is being done, is what Chandrababu Naidu has to say. But what has happened previously is not something that can be accepted, is what the TDP is saying. Now, YSRCP is claiming that all these allegations are baseless. They are ready for any action. They've also asked the central government to intervene and investigate this particular claim. The YSRCP will also take action against the TDP government for these allegations that the TDP has put up. So here what we see is that animal fat was used, is what a report which was taken. The report after the test was done of the ghee being used in preparing prasadam was done on 23rd July. This report was out. In this report, the S value, which is usually under certain limits, has crossed, stating that there is some kind of animal fat that was used, and suspected that fish oil, buffalo and lard was used in this particular preparation of ghee, is what was said. But now Chandrababu Naidu clearing a stand that yes, animal fat was used in preparing the holy prasadam in the Tirupati Devasthana. Now the Vigilance Department of the TTD is investigating this matter. They have earlier inspected, raided several of these ghee suppliers, and now that the report is out, preliminary investigation has revealed.
Speaking about the fact that it is the government which is now saying that all those people who are guilty, they will not be spared. In fact, the TDP now saying that people will be put behind bars.